Larry Kudlow told Bloomberg TV that it's all up to Trump and he's not ready to sign a deal yet. The U.S. Senate is rushing to approve a bill to punish China aimed at stopping oppression of the Uyghur population in Xinjiang province. And China has threatened to retaliate. Live numbers are rolling behind me. You mentioned $16 billion in the first 90 minutes. Well, now it's more than $25 billion. So clearly on pace to beat last year's record of around $31 billion. It's been a very cautious tone, no mention of an actual deal in terms of the outcome of the talks. So in front of me, I have the Chinese language, People's Daily, as well as the English language, Global Times, and China Daily. None of these newspapers even have trade talks as the top story. The launch of this comes at a very symbolic time. We're just days away from China's 70th anniversary. The aviation industry has also been considered a key strategic part of the Chinese government's economic growth plan. Since this is promoted by Xi Jinping, the top levels of the Chinese government, and it has added significance amid the trade war as there are these threats that China will be cut off from the global tech supply chain. And when it comes to the NBA, you saw this dramatic reaction in China in response to a single tweet. So is this an example of strength and confidence in China, or that of a vulnerable and paranoid regime? I want to start out with Jerry, because you founded Yahoo at a very different time. This is when the internet was a promise for global collaboration. China had not yet put up the Great Firewall, and we didn't yet have these discussions of decoupling. So from your position, where is this decoupling going, and what are the implications for global innovation? Now, the protests in Hong Kong have weighed on luxury sales in the region, with LVMH reporting that September and August sales fell 40%. So how is Bulgari being impacted there?
Basically, our third quarter as Bulgari has been equal to the second one and to the first one in terms of growth rate.
Can you say what companies those were?
I'll keep it
Or what sector? Okay, well, when you are ready to tell us.
But one of them actually is planning for Hong Kong IPO very shortly.
AstraZeneca, many of your competitors really get hit hard by this bulk buying program. So over the long term, how do you see it impacting growth?
We will grow more slowly, but still we believe we can grow 15% or more over the next number of years.
And Saudi Aramco raised $25.6 billion in the world's largest IPO, relying heavily on local investors and funds from neighboring Gulf countries. Many China watchers view this time as arguably the most difficult time in Xi's history since he assumed power. He is facing a litany of domestic and international issues. China right now desperately needs more meat. China, which is the largest pork consumer, has seen its hog population drop by 40% as a result of the African swine fever. Critics of Trump have argued that the U.S. in the beginning should have been working with the European Union to deal with their issues around China, since they have many similar complaints when it comes to concerns around economic subsidies, around China's general trade policy. China is trying to balance having a strong stance to the domestic audience, showing that they're standing up to foreign interference while not putting any more pressure on its already deteriorating economy.